Here we go. Let's go over the movie Meet John Doe. In these opening moments, we are introduced to the lively and bustling environment of a Midwestern newspaper office. There is a sense of urgency and anticipation in the air as workers focus intently on their tasks, emphasizing the importance and vitality of the press in this era. Ann Mitchell, a determined but recently fired journalist, approaches the managing editor, Mr. Connell, hoping to retain her job. She pleads with him, offering to work for reduced wages, highlighting her desperation and responsibility towards her family. However, Connell dismisses her offer, marking a crucial juncture that foreshadows her bold plan to regain her position. Anne, facing unemployment, reflects on the unfairness of her situation and the ruthless nature of the paper's new management. In her frustration, she suddenly conceives a daring idea, an act of defiance that will change everything. This is a pivotal moment where her anger transforms into a creative rebellion, setting the stage for the unfolding drama. Anne writes a fictitious letter from a supposed John Doe, a disenfranchised everyman threatening to commit suicide on Christmas Eve in protest of societal injustices. She hands the letter to her colleague Joe, and the boldness of her idea is revealed. This clever manipulation becomes the linchpin of the film's exploration of media influence and social consciousness. The fabricated letter is printed and immediately stirs political debates, reaching the governor's office. The press and political leaders become agitated, suspecting a calculated attack by newspaper magnate D.B. Norton. This scene gives a glimpse of the power dynamics at play as leaders attempt to decipher the intent behind this mysterious communication. The newspaper's managing editor, Connell, realizes the impact of the fictional letter and, along with his colleagues, decides to capitalize on the public's reaction. They devise a plan to find a face for John Doe and ride the wave of interest. This sequence marks the beginning of the newspaper's exploitative and opportunistic strategy. We see Connell, Anne, and the newspaper team interviewing down-and-out men, potential candidates to embody John Doe. This scene is essential because it showcases the media's search for authenticity and the lengths they'll go to manipulate public perception. The tension and excitement build as they look for the perfect everyman. The chosen John Doe, John Willoughby, a former baseball pitcher, is introduced. Skeptical yet desperate, John's uncertain demeanor contrasts with the frenzied ambition of the newspaper team. This moment lays the foundation for John's reluctant involvement in the scheme and offers a poignant glimpse into his character. After fainting from hunger, John Doe is revived by the offer of food and security. This part highlights his economic plight and vulnerability, reinforcing his role as a symbol for many Americans during that era. Anne and Connell see this vulnerability as useful, emphasizing the exploitative nature of their plan. The media blitz begins, turning John Doe into a sensation. The rapid circulation of articles expressing his societal protest creates a public uproar and intensifies the spotlight on the John Doe movement. This montage signifies the media's power in creating public figures and controlling narratives. Newspaper owner D.B. Norton decides to put John Doe on radio despite Connell's reservations, as they see it as a greater opportunity to influence public opinion. Anne insists that John Doe can carry the movement forward, showing her investment in the character's growing influence. A sense of momentum is building as the story gains traction. Anne's mother advises her to write a hopeful speech for John Doe based on her late father's ideals. This parental wisdom provides Anne with emotional clarity and direction. The familial bonding and guidance anchor Anne's motivations, amplifying the personal stakes for her journalistic journey. John Doe's first radio broadcast in front of a live audience showcases his struggle between honesty and deception. Initially hesitant, John's nerves reveal his integrity. The scene serves as a turning point, where John steps into the public arena, which will test his moral fortitude. John delivers an unexpectedly sincere and moving speech about neighborly love and collective responsibility, which begins to resonate deeply with the audience. His genuine delivery touches on universal themes, transcending the press stunt into something more profound and impactful. Community members share how the John Doe movement inspired them to connect with neighbors and overcome societal barriers. These testimonials underline the movement's tangible impact on individuals' lives. This scene captures the hopeful spirit that John Doe has inadvertently inspired. Backed by endorsements, Norton's political ambitions are made clear through a proposed John Doe party. Here, the movement is seen as a tool for personal gain, betraying the original ideals. Anne's unease grows as she comprehends the true stakes, adding to the unfolding emotional complexity. Connell confronts John, cautioning him about Norton's true intentions and the potential exploitation of his influence. Connell's candor introduces a moral dilemma, forcing John to question his involvement and the genuine impact of his actions. This becomes a pivotal moment for John's internal conflict. John confronts Anne about the authenticity of the speech she wrote, revealing his disappointment and sense of betrayal. This confrontation tests their relationship and John's resolve as he grapples with his place in the constructed narrative. Anne's sincerity and remorse are crucial for John's eventual decisions. Accusations fly between John and Norton as they argue over ownership and integrity of the John Doe movement. John passionately defends the genuine natural spirit of the unsuspecting followers. This climactic confrontation exposes the rift between ethical ideals and personal ambitions. DB publicly denounces John as a fraud during a massive John Doe convention, unleashing chaos and mistrust. The mass disillusionment marks a dramatic shift within the movement. This public humiliation starkly illustrates the collapse of John's influence and the volatile nature of public opinion. A dispirited John tries to reason with the crowd despite their hostility. This heartbreaking moment reveals his emotional vulnerability and the burden of his deception. Under mounting pressure, his stoic resilience contrasts sharply with the vitriol from those he once inspired. On Christmas Eve, as John contemplates suicide from the City Hall's roof, he is intercepted by Anne. Despite her weakened state, she desperately pleads with him to reconsider. Her conviction and love for John hold vital significance, representing hope and redemption amidst despair. Anne invokes the spirit of the original John Doe, reminding John of the everlasting fight for good. She emphasizes the importance of their mission, imbuing courage and love. Her words rekindle a spark within John, propelling him back toward renewal and purpose. As John finally decides against ending his life, Anne's faint pleas resonate, and the group's loyalty is rekindled, shown through acts of solidarity and renewed belief. The ringing church bells underscore the triumph of hope and unity over cynicism. In this fulfilling resolution, John's personal ordeal mirrors the resilience of the human spirit.